This week on Big Waste TV, we're going to go over the importance of food plots. Food plots are very important for whitetail as well as other species in the outdoors. And I love doing food plots almost as much as I love hunting whitetails in northern Michigan. Whitetails are one of the most addicting animals to hunt here. We love doing it, but we also love preparing for it. We put out food plots, trail cameras, minerals, we put out water holes. I mean, we do it all, and it takes a lot of preparation, much more than you think, than just getting up in your stand. If you want to be successful, you've got to do the pre-season work. And we start it as soon as the season's over. We start it, and we're ready to roll by the time the next season comes around. So the most important thing that we're going to start with right now is we're going to do a soil sample. Once we get our soil sample in, we'll know if we need to add any lime. Typically, our fields we keep a pretty good eye on, but I don't want to waste any fertilizer, so I want to make sure that I know exactly where our pH is in this field. So I'm going to go out and take a soil sample, we'll get this sent in, and then next week what we're going to do is we're going to get the winter greens in here. We're into July now, and that's when we like to plant our winter greens with Whitetail Institute. Okay, this is the soil sample kit that I was talking about through Whitetail Institute. Now, we stopped into a local sporting goods store called Jay's Sporting Goods here in northern Michigan and picked one up. And if you look inside of them, it's real simple. There's just a sleeve in here that you put it in. You put your soil sample in here, fill out what you want to plant, name, address, the field number, assign it, and then this is what you're planting. Of their products, or if you're planting corn or soybeans, you can put that on there. And then it has a return envelope in here, priority mail envelope in here that you send back to them. And then they're going to send you back great itemized sheets on what fertilizers you need, how much lime you need, everything that soil needs. And sometimes it doesn't need anything, but it's good to know before you waste a bunch of fertilizer on it. And then as well, in a lot of stores, they have the food plot guide. So it'll tell you exactly when to plant it, what's best to plant. If you're doing a food plot, or like what we call as a harvest plot, these are just great little information packets that you can see exactly what to plant. This works out just perfect for Whitetail Institute, which we have found to be the most successful for us. And we've been doing this a long time, and it's a huge passion of mine, probably more than hunting, is doing the farming side of deer management. The reason that we chose this spot is because we have a real good cedar swamp to my left here, and we put up a nice stand here, and we're able to come all the way through the swamp. We cut a trail through there, we leaf blew it, so we can get right up in that stand, sneak up into it, into these evergreens here, and be able to hunt the edge of this field. The reason that we chose this stand, if possible, find wintergreens, spruce, anything that the needles, whatever it is, stay on all winter. This spot is so good because when we go up in the stand, when there's no leaves on the trees, we still have the cover that we need. Take a look at this stand behind me, and you'll see how nice it is to be hidden in something that doesn't lose its leaves. Another spot is on the complete other side of the field. We'll do that one. We'll do one there as well. And the reason we do that is because of wind. We like to make sure that we can have two good wintergreen spots on both sides of our food plot. And the reason is that we also have turkeys over there. This is a great spot for turkeys. As a matter of fact, not only do the deer like Whitetail Institute seed mixes, but the turkeys love it.
When we return, we show you one of my turkey hunts over one of these Whitetail Institute food plots. If you're just joining us, we went over the importance of doing soil samples before you plant your food plots. Now we're going to show you a turkey hunt that I did over a clover field that we had planted earlier on in the year. Toms came right into where we wanted them, and I had ranged a spot in the field before they even came in, and I had 20 yards stuck in my head because that's where I had ranged. And I just wasn't paying attention. I was just excited in the heat of the moment, and I put my 20-yard pin on this turkey when actually he was at 30 yards. So I shot low, but luckily the turkeys kind of just jumped and then came right back, and I was able to get another shot. I know exactly where this bird flew in at, so we're gonna go see if he's sitting over there. My shot might have been a little bit further back, but for some reason I'm super confident because I really like my ramcat broadheads and I know what they can do. So hopefully we'll go in there and he'll just be laying down in the swamp, but we're gonna go find out. Here's my first turkey of the season. We bought this property about a year ago because we had seen so many turkeys on it, and sure enough, these turkeys came strutting right in. It's been an awesome morning. I shot a little bit far back, but I was so confident in my ramcat broadheads. They definitely did some damage, and sure enough, he was done right here in the swamp. It's been a great start to the season, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the season has in store.
We just showed you Jada's turkey harvest that she did, and that is very close to where we're going today. We did those soil samples the other day, and those came back great. We thought that they would because we had already limed it last year, and now we're going to go out there and plant our winter greens, and we're going to plant some turnips, and we can start planting this based on what Whitetail Institute has told us on the back of our bags, anywhere from July the 1st on. So it's about July the 13th today. And we're going to get out there and we're going to show you how to plant these, how to get it done right, and we have the equipment loaded and we're ready to roll. Well, we have our plot ready. What we have going on here, folks, like I said before, is that we have an alfalfa field out in the middle here. Quite a sizable one, probably 8 acres. It's a great food source for them during the spring and summer. And then fall comes, what we like to do is we like to put winter greens in right along the edge where we're gonna hunt. So we saved this spot. We had rounded it up earlier and we tilled it today. We had soil sampled it. Everything's great, ready to go. So now we're putting our winter greens in, and then we'll be ready to hunt this fall for some nice whitetail here in northern Michigan.
When we return, I take a friend out to shoot a doe over a big soybean field.
Soybeans are very important here for whitetail management. It's a great annual because in the summertime they can forage on the leaves, and then by fall we have beans on them. And many times here in northern Michigan we have snow on the ground as it continues throughout the fall, and they will forage through that snow. They'll paw through it. I've seen them up to 2 feet deep to get to the soybeans. So it's very important. It brings them out, they're attracted to them, and we love using them, especially for a summer forage.
I'm taking Danielle out for her first time hunting. She's our marketing director and she's never actually been out in the field. So I've got a doe tag. So we're gonna go out there and see if we can give Danielle her first animal.
There's like all these deer in the field right now. She's moving though. It's okay. Oh wait.
Wait till she stops.
Now.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Still.
Yeah. Aim a little bit farther back.
Almost. Did I hit it? Yeah. I hit it? Well, how do we know?
We have to go out and let first.
Please tell me I hit it. Did I hit it? I couldn't tell this is oh my gosh, I killed a deer!
Our winters are extremely tough for the deer, so having big food plots of soybeans is huge to help them survive through those hard winter months. Don't go anywhere. When we return, my dad shows you one more field to help funnel the deer to your tree stand.
Well folks, today what we're going to show you is something that we've had a lot of requests for, and that's food plots. We have had a lot of people inquire about, how we do our food plots, and it's become a big topic. We've been using Whitetail Institute seed for a long time, and today we're going to do Clover. And what we're going to start out with is we're going to start with pelletized lime, and I have the hopper in the back full of pelletized lime. And I don't care what brand you use, what they do basically with that is they crush it very, very fine, and then they put it back into pellets. And then that way you can broadcast it, and then as soon as it gets in contact with any water, it gets into the soil, it breaks apart and really activates it the quickest. You can get egg lime and do a big spreader, but on these small little runs like we're doing today, we'll use pelletized lime because it'll take the pH and correct it extremely fast. What we like to do is we like to go into these what we call fire lanes in these pine plantations, and with clover, because we have light soil here, we have found the secret is to not have it burn it out, so we don't have big clover fields. We just do little runs of it in the in between these pine trees. That way when the sun comes up, we have shade in the morning, then the full sun in the middle of the day for a little while, and then it goes back to shade. That way this light soil does not dry us out, and we can actually have good clover throughout the entire summer. We found that with clover, a lot of times with light soil, it'll just burn it out if we do a big field. It's also arrest approved, this clover, so that means that you can spray it with a grass killer, and then that way you don't have the grass competition later with it. With all of this pine in here, we know that our pH has to be corrected, so we know we gotta sweeten the soil. You can do a soil sample if you have any question at all. I just know we haven't limed this in quite a few years, and we haven't reseeded this in quite a few years, and with all the pine needles making it acidic in here, I know that we're gonna need some lime, so we're gonna go ahead and lime it right now. Let's get started. I'll show you. I keep my RPMs down on my spreader when I'm going through a narrow trail like this, because I don't need to lime the woods, I just need to lime the trail. And the higher the RPMs, the farther my lime or fertilizer will spread out. I'm just trying to concentrate it just on it's probably not much more than 20 feet wide through here. But the animals absolutely love this, and so we'll show you the before and the after. We'll show you one that we just did 2 weeks ago in another spot, how it's starting to come up. This looks gorgeous. So let's get started. While I go get the 624-24 loaded up in the hopper, then Doug will take off with the rototiller and he'll get this prepped for me. Then I'll come up, fertilize, he'll go over it one more time, and then we'll get out the seeder, and then we'll start seeding the clover, the Whitetail Institute Imperial Clover. Well, we've got it pretty near tilled, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fertilize. And what I have with me right now is I have 6-24-24, and that's gonna be 6% nitrogen, 6% phosphorus, and 6% potash. And with clover, alfalfa, soybean, this is probably what we use the most because it doesn't need much nitrogen, just enough to get out of the ground. And now what I'll do is I'll spread this over this, and then what I'll have is I'll have Doug go back over it one more time with the rototiller. That way it doesn't affect the new seed. It just gives it the nutrients that it needs. I don't like putting the seed right on top of the fertilizer, and so it's a good way to also till it one more time and get everything in the soil, have it prepped and ready to go. We'll get this fertilizer down, and then we'll show you the seed. The seed is kind of like the dessert. That's what we get to leave a nice fresh coat of seed, and then we pray for rain. On the back of this, it gives you where you can plant it and the dates. So we're in number 3. So number 3 is April the 15th through June the 15th in the spring. And then by the time you guys are watching this, potentially in July or August, you can plant it from August the 1st through September the 1st. And that way you'll have plenty of rain and it'll get started. We should be ready to plant with our clover. Well, we've got her planted, and that's basically how you can do it. That's how we do our fire lanes. You can do bigger plots the same way. This just happens to be a long strip that runs through the middle of the property to hold the moisture when we have this light soil. Another thing that we did probably 2 weeks ago is exactly the same thing here, and we'll go over and we'll show you that food plot, and you can see it's starting to come up pretty good. It might not have even been 2 weeks ago, but we've had a lot of good rain, we've got a lot of good heat. So thanks for watching, and I hope that this helps you do some good for your wildlife management on your property.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you share your success with us on social media and at bigboystv.com. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode of Big Boys TV.
I can't get too far from it, or else then my Bluetooth will, you know, won't reach that far, so I got to get up there with it. And how important it is to get your pH correct for the plants and the Whitetail Institute plants that we plant, that we like to plant. When we plant stuff, we plant often and we plant pH. Well, here's a good tip. I just got done fertilizing, came back to the barn here, and with these fertilizer spreaders, always make sure and wash them out right away. Don't be lazy, because I've seen that happen and I've experienced it early in my life, where you get in a hurry, you put it away, and you don't clean it out, because then none of this stuff will work. It corrodes it all. This right here, as you can see, this right here, this opens and closes nice now. But if I don't clean it out now, I'll pay for it later, or it won't work at all.